Like, I remember one time I was on the phone with a girl. And she very attractive, very attractive. You know what I'm saying? Smart. She in school, nursing school. You know what I'm saying? Bio major.
Them nurses ain't no good.
Yeah, they not.
They not. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Why Not podcast. And today I have a very special guest.
Relax, bro.
Tyson, and he's going to introduce himself and tell y'all what he does.
What's up, everybody? My name is Tyson Bates. I'm a student here at Johnson C. Smith University. I currently serve as the Student Government Association Vice President, member of the men's basketball team. I ran cross country my freshman year. I'm a part of SAC, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. A part of a few different things. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the vice polemarch of the Alpha Epsilon chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And yeah, man, I'm just here.
Basically does a lot. Pretty stand-up guy. Before we get into, the serious questions, what's one fun fact about you that people don't know?
I enjoy to fish a lot. It's really therapeutic for me. It's kind of a way for me to kind of release things that I think about and stuff like that. But that's my practical activity that I go about, getting things off my chest and stuff like that.
When did you start fishing?
I started fishing fairly young. I think my earliest memory was when I was 3. My grandparents are natives of Virginia Beach, or that area. And my granddad took me on a boat. And I just remember fishing with my cousin and seeing some of the flounder and stuff on the boat. And since then, I've been hooked. No pun intended.
Okay, so now let's get into college leadership. What motivated you to run for SGA Vice President? Well,
I've always been told, that I've had leadership qualities and stuff like that.
I agree.
And in certain spaces where I can lead. And I have led, on campus before with some of the on-campus Bible studies that myself and one of my friends, James Brown, hosted together. However, I noticed that there were spaces that change could be inflicted a little bit better in. And one of the platforms that we ran on, me and Justin, was administrative accountability. Because I didn't feel at the time period that our administration was held accountable in the way that they should have been.
Right.
I feel like there were spaces that lacked. I think there were culture issues that should have been shifted and could have been shifted a lot earlier. And, that inspired me to make change on a more executive level. So,
see, I wasn't expecting that. I told y'all he's a very stand-up guy. So, what has been your biggest challenge in the role so far? I know a semester went by.
I think one thing that I didn't realize early on, and I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, is how much I actually do impact people. So there are times where there's been a cognitive dissonance or some sort of general ignorance as to how much people actually look at everything that I do.
Right.
So things that I may say or post or share or whatever, nothing inappropriate, but more so things that just affect people in a way that means a lot more.
Yeah.
One of the issues is not understanding that, no, you have some sort of influence.
Yeah.
And you impact, whether it's young men, young women and stuff like that, in a way that other people may not. And I wish I'd known earlier on that I had that influence, because I would have run for something my freshman year. But influence and understanding my impact.
So is this the first time you ran for anything?
Yeah, SJ, in terms of school, yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of your influence, what was a moment where you were truly proud of something that you did that impacted the school?
For myself, or just in general? For me, really, I would say hosting Bible studies. That has been the most influential, most important thing, because most people lack the ability to be vulnerable, and even more so lack the ability to be vulnerable spiritually. And even with myself, I'm not saying I'm arrived, I'm not saying I do everything perfectly and stuff like that, but that opened up a space for me to be spiritually vulnerable and allow other young men who struggle with things, other young women who look like myself, who struggle with things, to kind of open up a space for themselves and to be able to have a space for them to kind of open up. So, yeah, so that's my proudest moment.
So, SGA Vice President, hosting the Bible studies, basketball, other extracurricular activities, academics. How do you balance all of that?
To be completely honest, I don't. I just do them. There's scripture that says, "To whom much is given, much is required." And to be completely honest with you, I think you just do things. Like you do them, you not get them out the way, but you approach each task the same way. There's a scripture that says, work as heartily as unto the Lord,
right.
Meaning you approach things as if you're working for God, right? And so when I'm in SGA, when I'm in SGA meetings, or whether I'm meeting with President Kinlock, I approach it that way. I take notes that way. Whether I'm in class, I take notes that way. Whether I'm in practice, I approach it that way, regardless of whatever the result may or may not be. You know, so just approaching things the same way. That's the balance. The balance is making sure I'm doing it as if I was working under Christ.
Doesn't that get stressful?
It does. Absolutely. I think one of the things we don't do enough communicating or talking and stuff about is how, not even overwhelming, but more so, things can stretch you thin. Things that you can be a part of can stretch you thin. People can stretch you thin. People can have expectations of you that force you to overwork yourself and stuff like that. And if you don't approach everything, not correctly, but the right way, it can be stressful for sure. But it definitely has been, don't get me wrong. I've been very, very stressed. And you won't really see it, but
yeah. You deal with it pretty good.
That.
You know, a lot of people don't look at you and think, oh, like he's going through it. He doing all of this and like he's stressed out. It seems like you're handling everything very well.
I appreciate that.
Now, earlier you said you're a part of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. And what inspired you to join?
I got a few reasons, really. I'm a chapter legacy, so my dad crossed the Alpha Epsilon chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi here at Johnson C. Smith University, spring 2001. My mom also crossed the Gamma Lambda chapter in spring 2002. She's a member of Delta Sigma Theta. However, I recognized early on that the way that the men of Kappa Alpha Psi presented themselves differentiated itself in a way that I thought I differentiated myself in certain spaces. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't something that it was like I needed those letters or I needed to be a part of this organization to be or feel a certain way. I just feel as though that specific aspect of myself would have been exasperated in a mutual benefit for not only that organization, but for myself.
Right.
So I felt as though they exemplified themselves in a way that differentiated themselves, like I said, that I didn't see in any other organization. And not that I really was even looking, but...
Okay, so what does being a part of the fraternity mean to you?
I believe in brotherhood. I truly do. I believe in fellowship. More so, I believe in, like, I can actually relate it to, give you a scriptural example, where it says, forsake not the assembly of yourselves one to another, even the more as you see the day approaching. And Christ is literally talking about being amongst one another, being amongst the church and stuff like that. And I'm not saying Kappa or anything is the church. However, I am saying there's a fellowship of brothers and stuff there. And don't get me wrong, I have my group of brothers in that brotherhood who know we talk about Christ, we talk about Christianity and stuff like that. But that minor aspect of fellowship is exemplified in that. So I've met people that I wouldn't have met before. I've been offered internships and stuff that I wouldn't have been offered had I not crossed and stuff like that. So I've just, in many ways, made the connections and forged the relationships and stuff like that that come with that. And even doing work and stuff like that. It actually helps you learn and gauge how things should go, how meetings should go, how people should present themselves in corporate spaces or in spaces where there are a lot of people that don't look like us. So,
before we continue, I love how you incorporate God in mostly everything, because most of the questions I asked you, you go back to a scripture to relate it. And not a lot of young people are in tune with the religious side of things. So I respect that. Now, what's one experience in the fraternity that it's like you can't forget that?
I would say my probate.
Your probate?
And I will say to this day, and I'm not trying to be arrogant, nobody has screamed louder in that gym than when I took that mask off. But no, that was one day where I'm not very worked into my emotions. To be completely honest or transparent, it's not much that gets me worked up anymore. Like, I really don't care about much. Not to say that I don't care like nonchalantly, but you can't take me there.
Yeah.
However, to see my younger brother's face, to see my dad, because he's the one took my mask off and stuff like that. Right. To see him there, that was the first time I was really moved in my emotions in a space that I've never really been moved in again since then. Like,
so that was like one of the most
teammates yelling, and it was like for somebody like myself, who I've dealt with like an inferiority complex because I was really small growing up and stuff like that. Like I didn't hit a growth spurt until my junior year of high school. Right. So I wasn't talking to schools for basketball, and you dealing with all this inferiority. Things happened to me when I was younger and stuff like that, and it's like, for that to get that moment in college, you got a couple thousand people yelling your name, and it's like
feeling small most of your whole life. And in that moment, you just feel bigger than, not saying bigger than anybody else,
Yeah,
but,
but
like,
it's like
basically,
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm looked upon and stuff like that. So that's something that was amazing. I would say that's my favorite part.
That's what's up. Now, how has being in a fraternity helped your leadership?
Oh, it helps tremendously. In terms of organization. I wasn't messy prior to joining the fraternity. However, I've learned how to constructively not only uplift people, you know, not more so correct, but more so be able to critique positively and stuff like that, and be able to receive that exact same thing. So to be able to be critiqued, to be coachable, to be teachable and stuff like that. Like I had these qualities, but like I said, they were exasperated, you know, amongst joining the fraternity and stuff like that. And I've learned different things, but in terms of leadership, it made everything profound. So many different spaces where I've kind of been able to improve.
So you'd say, like, that helped you grow a lot as a person.
Absolutely. My outlook on things after crossing,
right?
A lot of stuff that I thought was very, very important is essentially minuscule now. Incredibly minuscule. Incredibly minuscule. Things that seem like issues are not that deep. And I think that's a part of why I am the way I am now. When it's like I really don't care that much about that.
Right. Cause it is what it is.
Exactly. It's not that deep. So
now, if you could describe the brotherhood, 3 words.
3 words.
3 words.
Empowering. Fraternal. Is close knit a word?
What?
Close knit. I
mean, we can
dash and
we can let it slide.
Close knit. Yeah.
Because my name has a dash in it, but you know we call it one name. So now you got the basketball hoodie on. So let's switch gears. Let's get the basketball. When did you start playing basketball?
I started around 8. Now my parents started me. I got knew of sports and stuff like that. I started late because my parents thought I was going to be one of them kids playing in the dirt. Action figures and stuff my whole life. But no, I started a little bit later. I started playing in 3rd grade. And I always had a jump shot. But like I said earlier, I was very, very small. And I'm also, like I said, my parents went here and stuff like that. But they both played basketball at Smith. And I had the opportunity to go elsewhere. Right. You know, many other schools and stuff like that. But I felt as though I wanted to go to an HBCU. And we looked past just basketball. So I felt like Smith, being a Charlotte native, presented all the opportunities that I needed. So,
how did you end up at Smith? Like, how did that whole recruiting process work?
It was a lot. So I was looking at Shawan, I was looking at Elizabeth City, I was looking at St. Andrews, Kentucky Christian, and a couple other schools. However, prior to committing to, I believe it was St. Andrews, which would have been. Anyway, prior to that, I had spoken with Coach Joyner, who was the coach at the time here at Smith. And I spoken to one of our assistants, Coach Tony, who came to see me play, not my senior night, but our conference championship game night, 32 points, 32. 32. Brother was like, I was like 8 for 8 from the 3-point line. But anyway, 32. So he came, told me I can come on and visit and just come play pickup with the guys and stuff like that. And by this time, you know, I wasn't like somebody who they were aspiring to recruit. This was a conversation. Came to play pickup, and I remember I went like 7 for 8 in my workout. And that was it. They offered me from there. So.
How did that feel? You know,
it felt good
because you know your parents went here.
Great. It felt great. It was weird because it's hard not to compare yourself to another person's journey. Because to be completely honest, like it hasn't gone in the way that I've, be honest, wanted it to. However, I have been blessed to be in this space. So regardless of whether I was playing a lot or I wasn't playing a lot, or my stats are where I wanted them to be and stuff like that, I've been completely blessed to be in this space. You know, so
life is more. It's more than sports.
It is 100%.
A lot of people don't think like that. They think, okay, play the sport, go pro.
Right.
No backup plan.
Right.
Life is
way more
than sports.
And I've been thinking beyond sports for a very long time. But you know, it's just it actually has given me. My dad tells me all the time, you're building life skills. So the amount of games that I just haven't played in and had to sit aside and you know, be deserving to play in or whatever it was, whatever the case may be. I've built the ability to be coachable during that. So, for example, a coach having something to say or telling me something and being corrective despite me not being in, it's like, okay, I can take correction.
Right.
And that'll help 20 years from now. That'll help 30 years from now.
Facts.
So, building life skills and being coachable.
So how has being an athlete helped your leadership?
Oh, 100. Like, being an athlete makes everything else a lot smoother. That's why one thing my mom encouraged, she's always like, marry an athlete, marry an athlete. Because there's a certain mentality that people who play sports in life.
Which is facts.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have to come where you can take rejection. You can take criticism, you can take coaching, you can take adversity, you know.
Facts.
To be on the line and got to run sprints, and y'all done ran an irrational amount of sprints.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You out of breath, you tired, you sweating, you hunched over, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, I can't keep going. No, but you can.
Yeah.
You know, and you wouldn't get that in any other space. I don't think any other space other than sports kind of presents those kind of ideals.
Because, like, that brings stuff like that at an early age.
Early age.
Because you running back and forth. It's like, I don't have to do this.
Right.
I can quit right now.
Right. I don't have to do this. I don't got to put up with this.
You keep pushing. You keep doing it.
I mean, even like to, like, you know, harp on that point, like, to be somebody that's not playing that much and to be running sprints. Now, imagine that. Like, I'm running because we had, let's say, 10 or 21 turnovers, and I didn't contribute to any of that.
Right.
There's a skill set to be able to be like, no, I'm still a part of this. I'm a part of this team regardless of whether I was in or I wasn't in and stuff like that. And that's my contribution, is running hard on these sprints, even though I didn't contribute to those errors or those faults.
That builds, like, a sense of teamwork also.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
They did it, you're taking the fall for it, but you're not blaming them for it.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Now, if you could play one-on-one with any NBA player, who would it be and why?
Kyle Korver.
Why?
That's my favorite player. He's my favorite player growing up. When I was a young Bulls fan,
he
was in Chicago and then made his way to Atlanta and then actually was an All-Star in 2015. People don't ever talk about that. But it would be Kyle Korver. I think I could fry him. I think I fry him. He's a jump shooter. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. Shoot the ball, but I would fry him.
You fry him?
Truly. Yeah, I fry him. I respect him a lot. Love him, but I fry him. I got his jersey and everything. Yeah.
Now, something happened last semester that a lot of people are wondering about. A lot of people want to ask about it. How did the opportunity to introduce Kamala Harris even happen?
I knew this is where he was going. So through one of my internships and one connection, and then one of my frat brothers, actually, they told me they were looking for not a keynote speaker, but somebody, one time, I think they call it introducer. And they wanted somebody who they thought, you know, spoke quote unquote eloquently and clearly and stuff like that, and wasn't afraid of public speaking. Like,
Pretty sure everybody watching can agree.
And so they presented that opportunity. They reached out to me, and then I reached out to those people. We interviewed for it. It was probably a couple sets of interviews, calls, phone calls, and stuff like that. They vetted me. Had to vet like social media and stuff like that. Then I got the gig. They called me, told me, look, congratulations, be here at this time and be sharp.
Yeah. What was going through your head? Walking as you walked on that stage, what was going through your mind?
It's time. I was excited. You
weren't nervous at all?
No, not at all. It's crazy to think, like, on that stage, I thought I'd be up there licking my lips like crazy, water and stuff like that. No, it was smooth.
Yeah.
Because those people out there want you to succeed. They want you to do good. They scream at anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever I say, they're going for. However, I have to bring it. I got to present it. I got to be confident in what I'm talking about. So, yeah, it was smooth.
How did it feel representing your school, fraternity, hometown?
It felt amazing. It felt amazing. Because at the end of the speech, I referenced, let's elect. I remember saying, let's elect my fellow HBCU alum. And that rings bells. It rings bells to a lot of people, because it's like we're being represented in spaces that 60, 70 years ago we were marginalized in. So it's like, no, I'm the one introducing her, not somebody that don't look like me, somebody that doesn't believe what I believe and stuff like that. And I'm able to, regardless of how the election went, I will always be able to say I was stamped off in history, introducing not only the first female vice president, but one who got that far. Apart from Hillary Clinton. We're talking about a black woman. Like, it's not even close.
Exactly. Like, that's a very big accomplishment.
Very big accomplishment.
And what do you hope, like, your peers take away from that?
For me, I'll say this. After the election results were over, one of the first conversations I had was I was talking to my mom, and I said, I feel more specifically, or I feel for black women more than anybody else. Specifically because the election was something that painted a picture. It painted a picture of what America has shown black women time and time again, which is, despite your overqualifications, we're still going to undervalue you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I felt for women. However, I wanted everybody who sees me walking in the caf, screaming, yelling, playing, joking around like I like to do. I want everybody to see that, no, like, despite the illumination of the level that seems that I was on and stuff like that, this is something that we can all do.
Right.
We can all accomplish. Like, I'm not going to be the first or, the last Smith individual to be in some significant space, especially politically, in the legislature and stuff like that. So,
And I feel like you doing that, a lot of people watching, like, he can do it. That means I can do it.
Absolutely.
So,
I see him every day. So
I feel like
some sort of.
I feel like you inspire a lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people.
Appreciate it.
Now, how has that experience changed the way you view leadership and public service?
It has altered the way I see leadership because I'm going to be completely honest with you. After that speech, I was with Rim, one of the basketball players, because he came to see it in person. I was with my parents, and I was shaking hands of so many different people. I had probably shaken a couple thousand hands. People telling me I did a good job, stuff like that. And it altered my viewpoint of a lot of marginalized groups of people. People who, from afar, you usually judge. People from afar that you usually have some sort of preconceived notion. And I was like, no. Like, the first thing that the first bell that really rang was like, no, God actually loves these people.
Right.
So from afar, I've always had these vantage points of who this individual is, what this individual believes, and what this individual does on their own time and stuff like that. And it's like, that's not how he sees them. You know what I'm saying? These are his people to take care of and stuff like that. But that's really how the more so leadership aspect is like, that's the real vantage point of these people. Somebody who cares for it. They would need an outlet. They need somebody to speak for them. So,
Was there any time like you felt yourself getting big headed, or you were just humble through and through?
I would say no, absolutely. Like, not more so big headed, but more so like, no, I'll call it big headed. Just to be completely honest with you, it was more so like finally being illuminated in this moment, and it wasn't really until the day after when I with all the text and the messages and stuff like that. But it was never something that I allowed to be the forefront of who I am. Like, it felt good. Like, I remember on the car ride back, I was screaming, yelling at the window because it felt great. It's like, okay, I actually did that. I did a great job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it felt that way. However, not to the point where I showed it in spaces or I flaunted it around and stuff like that. Like, I think the only time after I posted maybe 2 pictures. The pictures that I got with me and her in front of the flag, because I didn't show that yet. And then me on the stage, but that was it. Like, I was intentional on making sure I didn't flaunt this around because I got more to show. But why would I? I never wanted to come up there.
Your Instagram went crazy.
It did. It was.
I remember when I first saw it, I was in my room. I was back home. Got up out my bed, knocked on my mom's door. I'm like, bro, go to my school. Like, look what he doing.
Yeah. No, it was exciting.
Yeah. Now, this might be one of my favorite segments, the love segment. The first question I want to ask, and not to blow up your spot,
No, you're good.
is Tyson single?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
No talking.
No. No, I'm single. And you know what's crazy is this probably going, when this reaches whatever audience, it's probably going to be like, oh, see, this is what I be talking about.
That's why I said I didn't want to blow up your
No,
spot.
you good. I'm single, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyson's
Why?
single. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's a general, like, and I'm not saying that I've been perfect and stuff like that. And I ain't, no, sure ain't do nothing crazy or cheating or nothing like that. But I'm just saying, I'm not perfect. Everybody say that for they talk. But, no, I'm gonna be real. I have a general distrust, of like certain women and stuff like that. That's it. It's like, and it's not actually this personal. It's very personal.
Okay.
But it's not. It's like I'm okay with right now just being the handsome, kid going to law school. That's it, really. I'm cool with that. Right now, I'm the one going to law school, and if a woman find me and she want to take care of her brother, that's fine. But right now, I'm okay with it because I've seen too many sides of a girl can feel this way one day and tell you this, and the next day it'd be a whole different thing. I mean, me and you experienced that when I sent you that screenshot, and I was like, hey, this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be this, but it's that.
Yeah, we not gonna get into
No,
that.
exactly. I'm knowing. It's crazy because she's. Yeah. Yeah. Just posted him.
That is insane.
But that's a reality. It's a real harsh reality.
Yeah, it is. It is. Do you feel like you're ready for a relationship, though?
No, not right now. I ain't no good. Not right now.
What you mean you ain't no good?
No,
Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, I'm not even in the headspace to tolerate, like, general foolishness. I think a lot of times when we approach relationships, like, I know there's a lack of understanding. And that's one of my pet peeves is when women do not like intentionally try to understand me. And that's not like it's about me thing, because I'll do the same thing for you, but that's not reciprocated.
Yeah.
We got an issue. Because you don't know me, and then we 3 months in, all of a sudden you're surprised when I respond a certain way. And I'm not saying like abruptly or like harshly and stuff like that, but it's more so like, no, you didn't try to understand me, and there's too much going on.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just go back to my room and watch fish videos, play piano a little bit. Well, there's going to be a woman one day.
Yeah. So speaking of them not understanding, do you feel like your intelligence is like a reason why most things don't last long? Because based on this conversation, I can tell you're very intelligent. You think a lot.
I do think a lot.
So do you think that's something that most women cannot handle?
I think it becomes an issue, and this is on my part, it more so makes me a lot more insensitive because it makes me feel like you're not thinking.
Which is real.
Like, and for example, and I would say be completely transparent. I don't really give a piss. Shoot, like in my last relationship, I think with myself, there were spaces and segments in where I was too thinky and not less, or instead of like empathizing and stuff like that. Like I was just too analytical about certain stuff.
Right.
And more so like, let me think my way through this. Let me think too much to the point where it's self-sabotaging myself and stuff like that. And I didn't say that, never mind, we ain't gonna get it. But anyway, for real, but that joint had me toe up for months. What's that TikTok that be like, I did everything but die. But anyway, I think for sure there's definitely a branch off. And to be completely transparent, there's a space where like you can weaponize how much you think. So like I know I'll think a girl like in circles to the point where it mess her mind up, and I ain't gonna do you like that. I might well just leave you alone. What I'm saying ain't no good. Like I'm not about to just, because it takes one conversation. For most men, it takes one conversation with a girl to be like, oh, okay, I can get down with this.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time I was on the phone with a girl. And she very attractive. You know what I'm saying? Smart. She in school, nursing school. You know what I'm saying? Bio major.
Them nurses ain't no good.
Yeah, they not no good.
They not no good.
Got on the phone with her. She talked like a baby.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
A baby?
Yeah, talk like a baby. I just think, and I feel like that. And she was trying to like say stuff that would appease me, talking about like the election and stuff like that. And it was just like,
yeah,
nah, I appreciate it, but no.
Yeah, I understand that. Now, how do you define your love life right now?
Like with like one word or just in general?
Just in general, like from, let's see, what's a good time frame? Let's say last semester to now.
Just cooling, man.
Just cooling.
I really am. Like it may come off as a certain way. I'm just cooling, you know. Like I'm actually in the process of like I ain't forcing nothing. Like for example, I'm realizing that like people really only use you for the most part. Most people, if they're not the one, and that's friendships, relationships, and stuff like that. They'll use you what you're good for. Yeah. Like there's a girl that I was very interested in for a period of time, and I was talking to her, and I was like, we're so compatible. Like why aren't you like? I'm the one trying to make moves and stuff like that, and I can't even get a conversation out of you and stuff like that. And she didn't go, you with auntie. Anyway, like it's just.
I like how you keep like just throwing things in there.
Throw something in there, but like no, and it's just like I can't get with you because as much as I wanted to work, because I'll allow the potential to kind of override what I really should be doing, which is just cutting you off because you obviously not entertaining me and stuff like that. But like I'm just cooling because if somebody wants me intentionally, they'll let me know in a way that's beneficial for the both of us, but until then, I'm cooked.
You cooked?
I'm cooked.
Dang.
Yeah.
Do you believe in love at first sight? Like
I used to.
You used to?
I used to, but now it's more so like, cause I done seen it all. I've been a part of it all. The love bombing, I meet you and it feel like butterflies, and then a week later we have not spoken, and all of that. Like I believe in like potential really at like first sight. Like I see you and it's like, okay, we might have something going. Right. Because for the most part it was good. For the most part, I think men can categorize a woman as soon as he see her. It's like, okay, now that one I can take care of her. Definitely. Make sure she's straight, And then you got the ones that's like, oh, nah, this ain't going. Yeah. She ain't talking about that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Like, you know what you see. A man knows what he wants in his wife.
Absolutely.
So, like, you see something that throws you off right there, that's it.
Right. And it's like, oh, yeah, nah, never mind.
Yeah.
You got it.
Now, what's the most important lesson you've learned?
Really to be untrusting and to guard my heart. I did a bad job of that. That's, but yeah, I did a
So you was just open, hard on your sleeve.
open, hard on the sleeve, and it's kind of like you go about stuff incorrectly, and it could end poorly. You know, so just guarding your heart, having some sort of boundaries that keep you from feeling a certain way at the end, stuff like that. But guarding your heart, yeah.
Just being in a frat changed the way women think about you. Because, I mean, I have female friends. And I hear when they talk.
You said it, what you mean?
I'm just saying, like...
Oh, like just in general? When it
just
comes
in general, when it comes to
frats,
men in fraternities.
It do. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, we was at that thing that one day.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say specifics, but that one day.
And
I did I post it? No, I don't think I posted it. No, I did post it when I was like, oh, what'd she say? But that kind of filters out because it's like, it's not really authentic. It's more so, it's like atmospherically like, it's like this mass impression. So it's like, remember when TikTok was going crazy with she with the noops? Now the noops are like an affinity. You know what I'm saying? Like anywhere you go, it's like, where the noops at? The noops, you know what I'm saying? So it makes, there's an attraction and stuff to the name, but as a individual who is secure within himself and stuff like that, I don't look for that to be the thing that's going to be like, got him. You know what I'm saying? Because for the most part, if all it takes is somebody on Instagram and somebody strolling on TikTok and see somebody in person, she's definitely not the one.
Exactly.
Like, what are we talking about? You fan out like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you don't even know me.
Exactly. She don't even know you.
You turned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ooh, come on. What we doing?
Yeah. Like, she, no personality, no nothing.
And don't get me wrong. It's something that is like, okay, she's very sweet. She was cool when I saw her and stuff like that. Like, but yeah.
Now, last question in this segment. What do you look for in your ideal partner?
Like I said, somebody who is intentionally understanding. Don't be annoying. I'm annoying, but I'm annoying like, you know, like you play too much like you're annoying. But like, don't be like, don't be worrisome or worrisome if you want to pronounce it correctly. Yeah, don't be annoying. Don't be obnoxious. Like, don't come with not unrealistic expectations and stuff like that, but just be genuine, be yourself. You know, there's a general authenticity that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And don't get too familiar with me. Because I always say that familiarity breeds comfort, and comfort breeds compromise. Because you get so close to a person, you get so familiar that you get comfortable with them, you can compromise them.
Right.
And that's happened before with me in relationships. So it's like, nah. Really, just be cool. Just be cool, like, really.
Yeah.
Just be cool. I like femininity, though. Yeah, be very feminine.
Explain.
Like, me and my friends jokingly say, we say it all the time, like femininity and estrogen. Like, I'd rather just be with some femininity or some estrogen right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like when a girl is a girl, like on some, like you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like scratch my beard and like talk to me and tell me how your day went. And like
scratch my beard.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and just be cool. Just be cool. All the extra stuff crazy.
Nah,
like,
that's
just
real.
chill. You're really gonna get on my nerves, you know what I'm saying? Like, just be cool.
Yeah. Now, it's called the Why Not podcast, so we're getting into the why not mentality. So when was there a time where you felt like giving up, but you didn't? You was like, you know what? Why not do it?
Crossing. Yeah. And I, we didn't do nothing crazy and stuff like that, but more so just you just have to be very, 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 like, with the application process and all of that stuff. Can't give up, man. Yeah. Can't give up. The application and stuff like that. Get all that paperwork and stuff in and be smart. Be diligent. Make sure you ace them interviews. Because I easily could have been like, nah, I ain't doing this. This is a lot.
Right.
And stuff like that.
So would you say that's the most rewarding risk that you've took?
Rewarding? Either that or like coming to school to play basketball, because it was never like smooth sailing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was so much work that I had to put in. Me and my dad and my mom and stuff, being up early, being alarm clock going off at 4, having to be at school at 7:30. Like, it's a lot. Yeah. But it paid off because I'm here. It's like 1.5% of people going to play college sports. Yeah. So that's 98.5% of people who sitting somewhere, they don't know what. Yeah.
Don't know what's
you
next.
You can say whatever you
life.
want, but you know what I'm saying?
Just
like,
home, not doing much.
Crib university. So
crib university.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, done with that segment. Fun rapid fire questions. What's your favorite spot to eat in Charlotte?
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
It sounds crazy though.
Nah,
Chipotle.
I ain't gonna lie. I agree.
Chipotle.
I had Chipotle today.
Yeah, I had Chipotle yesterday.
I go to Chipotle so much. It's this one dude there. He like knows me. Like I'll pull up, stick his hand across the counter, fist bump. He knows my order.
Yeah.
That's how much I go to Chipotle.
Yeah, I know all the managers. I go to the one on South Kings near Best Buy and Target and all.
That's
that.
where I go.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah. I be going at night though. You go about 9:30, they hook you up.
Thanks.
Y'all, I'm paid.
Thanks. It's really good. All time. Well, you already said your favorite basketball player. What's the most ridiculous excuse you've ever heard from somebody missing a meeting or practice?
It's not even that ridiculous, but I was asleep. Like, you sleep, gang? Like, knowing we had practice, you was asleep?
Yeah,
that's never happened.
That's crazy.
Like, you was asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just don't like, no, I was asleep.
Yeah.
I was asleep.
I heard. I was asleep. My phone, forgot to plug my phone
Yeah,
up.
stuff like that. Like, that just, come on.
Yeah. At this level, I feel like
It's inexcusable
you shouldn't
almost.
be doing that.
Yeah, nah.
Especially if you have teammates. Like, I feel like a teammate should, like, make sure you're there.
Right.
Go-to hype song.
It's going to sound so crazy. It's called Dandelions by Ruth B. Mm-hmm. That's my joint right now.
I might have to check that out.
You got to check it out. It's slow. Super slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's joint hard.
If you could spend the day with any leader, past or present, who would it be and why?
Man, that's a really good question. Past or present?
Yeah.
Probably like Jesse Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You know, with him running for president and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
In a time period where it was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they would ask him, like, come on, what you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to kind of engage what his thought process was, how he felt about himself and stuff like that, and how he went about certain stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, Jesse Jackson.
Now, before we get to the closing, it's one part where I want you to talk to the viewers. Give them advice. Just talk.
Okay.
It's on you.
That's it?
Whenever you're ready.
Prioritize yourself, man. I think a lot of times we exhaust ourselves in the vicissitudes of life or in other people's affairs and stuff like that. But prioritize you. You don't want to get to the point where it's like, I'm looking back and I'm thinking I could have did this. And that's not saying that it's just being in other people's lives and stuff. You can lack prioritizing yourself because you're too caught up in your own affairs, too caught up in your own flesh, feelings, and stuff like that. Like, put you first in a way that maximizes your potential and stuff like that. And I wish I'd known that earlier coming to school, because I wasn't everywhere else except myself. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, prioritize you.
That was some great advice.
Appreciate it.
That was some great advice. Now, what's next for you in your journey?
You know, we got SGA coming up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm SGA vice president right now, and I'm not a senior, so.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, man. Got a lot coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Get my year back for basketball because I'm redshirting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Finger and ankle and stuff like that. But it's about that time.
Hope you
about to get
recover.
right. I appreciate that. It's going to get real.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off them screens.
Yeah.
1, 2. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get real.
Mm-hmm. And last thing, you know, let's go ahead, plug, like, Instagram, where people can reach you.
Tice828_ on Instagram, man. I should tag my podcast, More to Life Podcast.
Go ahead.
Yeah, More to Life Podcast on Instagram, too. More to Life. We're about to get right, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be connecting, doing a little bit of content, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, that's me. I just be cooling, bro. For real.
All right. I appreciate you for
Yeah,
coming
for
out
real.
here, man.
Appreciate you having me.
Such a great guy, man.
Just to
And subscribe, because why not?
do that. Why not?